going on, Stellar Crew? Bob MacArthur here for Stellarvue Telescopes for the May edition of In the Sky. Whew, April was challenging, a lot of weather, but hey, clear nights, you gotta set up, you gotta go, and here we are at the Mac Garage. So this is actually my driveway, and this is a fun, creative way that I found to block out neighbors' lights and things like that. They're wind shades. There it is. Also blocks out the wind, which is kind of nice too. So there you go. And I got my SVX90T, my travel telescope of choice. But what's really cool about this setup, I have the Los Mandy lightweight tripod with the M2C mount. This is burly. This is such a phenomenal setup. It's great for travel. It is great for grab and go. Look at that. So, I mean, it is just a wonderful setup. So, yeah, here we are, May. It is spring, and who knows what you can get for weather, but when you can get out, you observe. It's galaxy season still. We have the galaxies in Leo and Ursa Major and Virgo. But what's great is we're starting to see some of those summer constellations, some of those summer objects that we really enjoy starting to come up. So let's get to it. Let's talk about what we got going on in the sky for May 2025. What's going on, Stellar Crew? All right, let's get to it. Let's talk about what we got going on in the sky for May 2025. Well, we start off right off the bat with asteroid 4 Vesta at opposition. You know, sometimes we get focused on looking at the big bright solar system objects like the moon and Saturn and Jupiter, Mars, Venus, but let's take a look at asteroid 4 Vesta. It is the brightest of the asteroids, and it is opposition. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but let's talk about May 3rd, where we have the first quarter moon joining with Mars in the Beehive cluster. This could make a really cool photo op. Mars, moon, M44, Beehive cluster in Cancer, check it out. Then on May 5th, that waxing gibbous moon is near the brightest star in Leo, Regulus. It's actually kind of fun this month because we have the planets and then we have the brighter stars along the ecliptic. So we're going to watch the moon go from planet to star, star, star to planet, planet. So you'll see that as we talk about here. So the first kind of occurrence with the star is Regulus. On May 5th, 6th, we have the Eta Aquariid meteor shower. The Eta Aquariid meteor shower is actually a pretty cool meteor shower. Meteor showers are caused by comets. As they go around the sun, they have that tail, and that tail spews out debris, and Earth goes through that debris, and that causes our meteor showers. So the Halley's Comet is actually responsible for the Eta Aquariid meteor shower. It's a great meteor shower, pretty consistent, and there's a kind of a sweet spot right as the moon sets. We have a little bit of time before sunrise to see some of those meteors. So check that out early in the morning, and get your scope out, get to dark sky sight. You don't need a telescope to observe meteor showers. You just open up, view it out like this, but it's always fun to have the scope out because you can catch some of those early morning planets before sunrise. So on May 9th and 10th, the waxing gibbous moon closes in on Spica. Now, Spica is the brightest star in Virgo, and you'll actually watch through the night. The moon will pass from one side of Virgo, to above, through, or beneath Spica, and then to the other side of Spica. It depends on your latitude on where the Spica and the moon will perfectly line up. Actually, if you are in the South Pacific Ocean, you will actually get to see an occultation. You'll actually watch the moon, boop, cover up Spica. Those are always fun. And again, Spica is another star near the ecliptic and the moon's path in the sky and the sun's path in the sky. So on May 13th and 14th, we have the waning gibbous moon and passing up near another star near the zodiac or the ecliptic. We have Antares, the brightest star in Scorpius. So those two are going to hang out through the night. And if you are in certain parts of South America, you're actually going to get to see an occultation of the moon and Antares. So that's pretty fun. And we got another asteroid on May 14th, asteroid 3 Juno, another one of the solar system's biggest asteroids, is at opposition. So another asteroid, pretty cool. On May 22nd, 23rd, the waning crescent moon will bounce from Saturn and over to Venus. So like I said, we actually have some really good planets in the early morning now too before sunrise. And then, whoop, as it goes through new and back up in the evening sky on May 27th and 28th, that waxing crescent moon will be near Jupiter. And then we round out the month, May 31st, with Mars and the waxing crescent pairing up. So the moon's having fun. It's bouncing from planets to stars. We got meteor showers. We got asteroids to check out. So let's talk about the solar system. There's a lot of great stuff going on with the solar system. The sun has been active. We are at solar max. So if you have a solar filter, check it out. Look at those sunspots. It is active. We're still at solar max. Who knows? Maybe we'll get another repeat of last May. Holy cow, auroras last May were amazing. I got some really good views of the northern lights here in Colorado, which is crazy. And again, we have the planets. Now, after sunset, we have Mars and Jupiter. Jupiter's hanging in there. This is kind of really the last good month to observe Jupiter. So check that out. Mars is fading also. It wasn't as good as it is this winter. You can still get some surface features, things like that, but make sure you catch those early while they're still kind of higher in the sky. And then right before sunrise, you have Venus and you have Saturn. So check those out. Asteroids. We have 4 Vesta. And this image that I have up here for y'all is actually an image that I took with the Dob that I have. I did not have my Stellarvue telescopes. So I actually would love to try this with my 152 or my 90 and try and spot Vesta. So that little dot there, that is 4 Vesta. And it's over 3 nights. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 3 nights. Yeah. So check it out because you can get that motion with the asteroids. And they're not crazy bright like we expect with planets. I mean, Vesta is going to be naked eye brightness, 5.7 magnitude. So if you're away from city lights at a good dark sky site and know where to look and near the constellation Virgo, you'll be able to spot Vesta. But try this. I'm going to try it with my 152 and see if I can get that motion of Vesta. And heck, try it with Juno too. 3 Juno. Now, Juno's quite a bit fainter. It's 10th magnitude. So you're going to need some of that aperture to get it. But this could be a fun project. Sometimes we forget about, mapping out those motions. We want to get those, really nice detailed images. But this is another fun project for astrophotography too. And the livesky.com, and I mention it every month, is a great resource to find out where those minor planets are, those asteroids. You find out where these are positioned in the sky. Stellarium's a great one to use also. If you have Sky Safari, it'll help you locate these asteroids. Some of the fainter planets like Pluto, the asteroids, helps with comets. So check out the livesky.com. Now, moon phases, May 12th, that's your full moon, so plan accordingly. When it's full moon, I actually enjoy doing my planetary observations or my binary stars, things like that. So then you still have an excuse to get out and observe. And then May 27th, the end of the month, is going to be your new moon. So there you go. Plan your observing sessions accordingly. So let's talk about some deep sky objects. What do we got for star clusters? So we're kind of in that phase between the winter Milky Way constellations and star clusters and the summer Milky Way constellations and star clusters. So we have some globulars. M13 is starting to come up a little bit. That's the great globular star cluster in Hercules. But we have M3 and M5. These are just beautiful globular star clusters. I do encourage you to check those out. And with your telescopes, you get that depth in the stars. Let your eye just kind of settle on it. I love. Actually, I've started to get taking pictures of star clusters, and they're fun to get. Globulars are challenging to image though, because they have that depth, and you can blow out the core of them. So try them out for sure. And then of course you have M53. We forget about M53, I think, because we get so caught up in the galaxies up there in Virgo, Coma, and Leo. But check out that globular M53. And then down there in Hydra we have M48. And I have to give my friends and our friends down there in the southern hemisphere some shout outs. Actually, one of my new favorite open star clusters is the Jewel Box near the constellation of Crux, the Southern Cross, NG 4755. It does look like a jewel box. You have that nice dark sky and these just bright stars of all the colors. It is a beautiful star cluster. It's right off one of the crosses, or the arms of the crosses, so check it out. And of course, we are actually getting into Omega Centauri season. I know for our friends down in the southern hemisphere, they get to see Omega Centauri a little bit more than we do here in the northern hemisphere, but I have been able to spot it in southern parts of Colorado, just barely comes above the horizon. So you can get it. And I've been able to get it in New Mexico, Arizona, Hawaii gets it really nice. So, you start getting to that basically 38-degree latitude and south, you can start spotting Omega Centauri. Now, I will say here in Colorado, it's like boop, right above the horizon just for a short period of time. But if the further south you are, the better you get it. And it is just an amazing globular. So check that one out. So let's get into nebula. So just like star clusters, our nebulas are kind of far and few between right now because we are still really in galaxy season, which we'll talk about here in a second. But we have some really cool planetaries. And I mean, you look at some of these images that we're getting, you know, Tony Hallis with his M57 and Brian Myers with his, you know, Cat's Eye Nebula image. Planetary nebulas are really cool. And there's a lot of cool detail that you can get in these planetary nebulas using different filters, you know, using more narrowband, popping out some of that oxygen or the hydrogen. So play around. We have the Owl Nebula up there in Ursa Major, which is actually, I think, next to the Surfboard Galaxy. There's a galaxy right by the Owl Nebula. We have the Ghost Nebula, or NGC 3242 down in Hydra. And then we have the Cat's Eye up there in Draco, C6 or NGC 6543. And then one of my personal favorites is starting to rise up, and that is the Ring Nebula M57. Beautiful planetary. It's more of a summer object, but it's starting to come up. So it is an amazing planetary nebula. And then we have the Carina Nebula, Eta Carinae. If you are, again, lower latitudes, you can get this in Hawaii. So about that 25-degree latitude north and south, north, and then, of course, going further south, you get the Carina Nebula. And that's C92 or NGC 3372. So check out that. That's a nice, beautiful emission nebula to check out. So again, it is still galaxy season. We are still in it. We are still in galaxy season. I just put areas of the sky because honestly, y'all, there are so many galaxies in these regions. Look at your star charts, whether you have, a paper star chart, or you have your Sky Atlas, or you have your Stellarium, or Sky Safari. Get on these, look in these areas, because you have the Leo galaxies like M95, NGC, I can't remember, but the Hamburger Galaxy, which is right next to M65 and M66. So the Hamburger and M65, M66, you get that Leo triplet. And then you get, like I said, M95, M96, M105. So you have all those beautiful galaxies in Leo. You have the Virgo cluster with all those wonderful elliptical galaxies in Virgo. You have the Coma cluster. My favorite Coma cluster galaxy is the Needle Galaxy. So that's a cool edge-on spiral that you can look at. And then all the wonderful galaxies up in Ursa Major. The Whirlpool, the Sunflower. Just so many. M81, M82. There are so many galaxies. So again, look at your Sky Atlases. Get on Sky Safari, Stellarium. Check out Leo. Check out Virgo. Check out Coma Berenices. Check out Ursa Major, the Big Dipper. And there's just so many galaxies to choose from in those areas. But I had to pull out some other ones, right? We also have M83 in Hydra, known as the Southern Pinwheel. NGC 4038 and NGC 4039. This is cool. This is the antennae. This is two spiral galaxies. They're actually gravitationally bound to each other. So that's actually really cool. Try and shoot that with your scopes. And then we have M94 and Canis Venatici. Nice little spiral galaxy there. So it is still galaxy season. There are so many galaxies to look at. So check them out. And last but not least, I got to get in my binaries, right? So one binary I actually really enjoyed viewing in my last few jaunts down to the Southern Hemisphere was A Crux, Alpha Crux in the constellation of Crux, the Southern Cross. It's the bottom star of the foot of the cross. And it is a nice little binary. I took some notes here. It's a nice tight blue-white primary. And then you have that secondary, about the same brightness. And that secondary, really nice little pairing there. And you actually have a third star fainter out. It's a yellowish white star. So a little bit fainter third component, and then you have those two primary and secondary. Really nice. I was actually like, wow, that's pretty. So you pop over to the jewel box and swing on down to A crux. There's a lot of cool gems basically in the southern hemisphere, and that was a fun discovery for me. And then you have Kappa Bodes. This is a weird one because we always think of Bodes as kind of like that kite shape or that boot shape constellation. This is actually kind of in the edge of the boundary of Ursa Major and the constellation Bodes. And this is a really cool binary also, and it is a bright white, fainter blue secondary. So you have a brighter white primary and a fainter blue secondary. All these are really good. I observed these in my 90. So you can split these in your 90. You can even get better separation and resolution with your with higher aperture, bigger aperture. I love Porrima. This is such a cool binary. I first observed this star when I was working public programs at Lowell Observatory, and I observed it with the 24-inch Clark telescope. That, if you've not been to Lowell Observatory, get up to Lowell, look through the 24-inch Clark. It is a phenomenal telescope. And before we had the public come up, I'm like, I really want to check out this star. It says I could separate it. Man, I could barely separate it with the 24-inch Clark. Like on really good steady skies, it looked like two yellowish headlights way off in the distance. And it's been fun over the years to watch that separation. So it's one of those binary stars that you can actually notice that separation over a period of time. And now I can separate it with my 90. Like it's so cool to watch that separation. These two yellowish white stars about the same brightness. So check out Porrima. It's got a cool place in my heart. Gamma Virgo for sure. Check out Xibutes. Now, this is a cool binary. You got to do some star hopping to get there or use your go-to, but you have a yellow, nice yellow primary, and then you have a fainter orangish red companion. Really nice separation, great color. So check out that binary while you're up there in Bodes. So, and M3 is up there too. So you got M3 and then some fun binaries to look at up there. So it is May. It's a challenging season to observe. My April, I did not have that opportunity like I wanted to get observed. It was a really weird weather, cloudy month here in Colorado, but it is just April, and across the United States, it is severe weather season. Some days it's snowing, some days it's hailing, some days it's sunny, some days it's windy, some days you set up. And this happened to me so many times where I would set up, get everything good, the weather was, I get out, observe for an hour, bam, clouds. I'm like, where did that come from? But you know what? Get out. At least you're getting out, getting yourselves under the sky, and reminding ourselves, why we do this. It's also a good month, if weather's not cooperating, to just check your equipment out. Check out your equipment, get familiar with your equipment, and just making sure taking inventory of what you have, making lists. It's a good month just to see what you have and check inventory. If it's cloudy, hop on Stellarvue's user forum. Talk to some of the other stellar crews, see what they're observing, what instruments they're using, and things like that. It can be a challenging month, but it is a great month. The weather's getting warmer. If you get a clear night, get out and observe. Warmer weather. The nights are getting shorter, but just get out under the sky and remember why we do this. So yeah, have fun. If you're watching our videos, we really do appreciate it. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate the images you're sending us and posting on the user forum. Shoot us a like, subscribe to the Stellarvue YouTube channel. It means a lot to us because we like hearing what you guys have to say and like getting your feedback. So as always, here we are. Enjoy, keep looking up, get those scopes out, and have fun.